Hi Capricorn, here's a general look at your solar chart for the whole of 2011, and this is just an outline of the furthest flung, slow-moving planet which set the stage for the faster-moving inner planets which are the subject of the monthly forecasts. First of all, Mercury retrograde times, March the 30th to April the 23rd, August the 2nd to August the 26th, and November the 23rd to December the 13th. Some of you may be interested in that. Now, astrologically speaking, there's a lot of planetary activity affecting your sign, and in 2011 it's going to be even more when Jupiter and Uranus come into Aries. You are one of the four cardinal signs, those being Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer. So all of the cardinal signs have got some very, very strong planetary energy affecting them for quite some time. In 2010, as far as the Jupiter cycle was concerned, you were expanding your knowledge into new areas, making new connections, perhaps traveling more, perhaps expanding your mind, reading something that, taught you something new, or was doing a course, involved in promotional activity, sales, media, any kind of creative self-expression. Jupiter then changes that emphasis when it goes into Aries from January the 23rd to June the 5th, 2011. That signals expansion for you related to the home base, family, relationships, property matters perhaps for some of you, and also, most importantly, your inner sense of belonging. And this is going to help you feel more safe and anchored and confident on that basic level there, many of you Capricorns. This is an area of your innermost being, you see. So that can be that you are learning an awful lot, right from within the home, right in your own backyard, or from those in your private life, in your domestic relationships. It can be, the base of operation can become a place of learning, a place of teaching. And also your base of operations may grow and expand into new areas. Some of you may want to enlarge it or change the space so you have more, to do in the space, or maybe more people come into the space and stay in your space. Yes, it's a time for you to put down roots really and feel more secure. There's 4 solar eclipses in 2011. Oh yes, before I mention those, though, Jupiter's going to move from June the 5th, going into an area where you can be more creative, be more spontaneous, very good for romance, very good for, the love department. Also, doing anything which is related to entertainments or performance, where you can show how you can excel in some way. Very good for artistic activity also, but also speculative investment, or other types of speculative activity. If you're in sales or promotions, very good for that there, because your competitive side will be coming out. And very good for relationships with children. It's likely from June the 5th onwards that, young people in your life, you will have an expansive, beneficial a time with them. This energy will underpin and support that in those relationships in positive ways. And also, did I say romantic relationships? Yes, also those. Good time for you to be taking up a hobby or a leisure interest as well, because you can really grow and learn and expand through that. And your relationship with somebody very, significant other, somebody very special, could be related to travel or foreign lands as well. Now, as I was saying, there's 4 solar eclipses. The first one's on January the 4th in your sign. If there's a connection with an important natal point, which there's likely to be, then that's going to be a good time for you to change your look, get fit, become the lean, mean machine, but also to do whatever you know you need to do for yourself to make that necessary change to get you what you want. So if you're looking for a job, you know, do that thing that you know you need to do for yourself, even though it means putting your hand into your pocket, and maybe, you know, spending a little bit of money there. Or you can be in a number of other ways as well. So do whatever you can there to make the changes necessary for personal self-improvement over the subsequent months from January the 4th. Throughout the whole of 2011, key relationships are going to help you establish a firmer emotional and material foundation, and a structure or a support that they provide is going to be your launch pad to achieve success, Capricorn. Saturn, your ruling planet, continues its long transit of Libra. It'll be in there until autumn 2012, means that you're in a new cycle of having to work harder at reinventing yourself related to your career, or your standing in a community, or your image in the wider world, or with certain key people who you want to make a good impression on. This is a 28, 29 years Saturn cycle. So some of you, if you're old enough, you might want to look back at what was going on 28 years ago in your life, you know, and say, okay, that's what it was like then, and that's what happened next. That can be quite an eye-opener, give you the insight into, you know, the way this thing might be going. And maybe you now, who are older and wiser, can make, you know, older and wiser and smarter decisions this time around. Because by recalling where you were then and knowing what happened next, you might be able to do that, you see. Hindsight is a wonderful thing when it's applied correctly. So you'll be able to prepare accordingly, but you'll already know this is a time of perseverance in that area for you, to do with career. And having to be patient and having to keep plugging away at things. And maybe for some of you that's involved more responsibility on your shoulders, having to take on more. Maybe that's been to do with your family relationships as well. Maybe you've got a heavier load on you related to those, or to property matters, or your past behaviors and past decisions now are coming back at you in some way. It can be in a good way, actually. This can be the sort of the harvesting of much that's gone before, as sort of an accumulation, which can work very much in your favor now, actually, Capricorn. In this Saturn cycle, you've got to learn to concentrate your energy into those areas which ultimately lead to a more successfully, happily established version of yourself. Capricorns born from the end of December onwards will feel the influence of Saturn most strongly at certain times during 2011. As January and February unfold, Jupiter-Uranus together is going to trigger a growing sense of clarity about how things stand with domestic relationships, the home base, family relationships, property matters. There could be a sudden change of conditions at home related to family or within the neighborhood. Uranus is going to be transiting the root of your chart for many years, starting March the 12th. That means certain times from the past are going to be broken or radically changed over this 7-year transit of Uranus here. There could be several changes seen over that long time, obviously. I mean, it's very likely. Whenever Uranus comes within range of an important point in your chart. Change and expansion may be a governing factor in the lives, in your own life, but also to do with kith and kin. And overall, you'll benefit from this in 2011. But your foundations may be rocked, and that could be your emotional foundations. And you'll have to adapt to an at times inspirational or confusing, fast-moving environment, and surprised, you know, from time to time. But this is the spirit of revolution, which is facilitating your evolution and part of a significant growth process even though it may be unpredictable and a little bit uncomfortable at times. Capricorns born in the first week of the sign, approximately December the 22nd to the 27th, will feel this energy most potently in 2011, and may be subject to what I call the Dorothy syndrome, which is where you get picked up in the whirlwind like Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz and set down in a place which is definitely not Kansas. The life-changing force of Pluto continues to be felt in your sign, Capricorn. That will be so for many years. Choices should be coming from a deeper place now. You'll have an array of new options presenting themselves over the year to come, particularly in the first 6 months, and you should listen to the most primitive part of your knowing, following your gut instinct, and you won't be going far wrong. Over 2011, there will be increasing urge for you to be free of outlived aspects or in relationships or outmoded professional setups or domestic setups, and be more the real you in how you function, who you are, what you do. Capricorns born in the first 10 days of the sign are going to feel this energy most strongly over 2011. Jupiter aspects Pluto from February the 17th to March the 3rd. That indicates you could become more super enthusiastic about starting afresh with something, renewing something, renovating something. You want to get something rolling there, but you may run up against some obstacles there. Perhaps it's the powers that be, perhaps it's authority figures, but if you're not too overzealous and entrenched, then and also, you know, you might overlook that what you're getting so wound up about or enthusiastic about is more somebody else's version or due to somebody else's behavior or value system, and not necessarily your own. So make sure that what you believe is absolutely what you're about to do is related to your own truth and not somebody else's. Jupiter opposes Saturn March 25th to April the 2nd. That's the time of conflicting energies when you can be successful, but you should be cautious when expanding into new areas, you know. Take the long view there. Could find that elements of the past or old habits are holding you back a bit. And relationships, you know, they could feel a bit heavier on your shoulders just now. But if you balance that out by finding something which brings in variety and new learning, then that would mean that you get the balance right between your expectations and others. Jupiter trines Pluto July the 1st to the 14th and October the 16th to November the 3rd. This is a good influence which can help you improve the financial picture and make wise use of assets or knowledge or skills, and remember to heed those lessons about making choices from deeper levels and agreeing with yourself about who you truly want to be and the role you want to play and how you want to live your life, basically. And also realize that this isn't just about you, it's about the bigger picture as well, your little wheel in the bigger wheel, and the trends there, the way the wind is blowing. So take a more global view, take a more philosophical view. But you could gain some sort of positive recognition during that phase there for your contribution, for your knowledge, or whatever it is, however it's working out for you. Now, Uranus will be an aspect to Pluto July the 8th to August the 16th. This is going to be a recurring aspect in our skies until well on into 2015. And it really gets going from June 2012. So this aspect is sudden event territory. It can mean unexpected, potentially life-changing, shall we call them opportunities. But in the short term, they might feel, you know, a little uncomfortable and not what you would have chosen in an ideal situation. This is an important time, actually, in history. This aspect isn't just about you in in your personal life next year. This is going to be affecting us all. This transit's going to trigger events which help us all to throw off the shackles of the past and surrender ourselves to the next stage of growth. Sometimes events are going to accelerate. Sometimes it'll be hard to orientate ourselves because it'll not be what people have been expecting. Or maybe some people were expecting it, but, in general not. This can be an inspirational time, even though the world can go a bit topsy-turvy momentarily. The main thing to remember is to stay calm. And also to follow your gut instinct when deciding, which direction to go, what to do. But it would be advisable to have a plan B. It would be advisable to have a fallback position, figuring out what that might be starting from now. In general, I would say that the less reliant one is upon outside resources, for the basics. The better that might be. And sort of hooking up with others with similar sorts of interests as well. That might be a good idea too. Now, the second solar eclipse on June the 1st in Gemini is in your sector of study and use of skills, also practical everyday tasks. So maybe these are job-related or underpin health and well-being, yours or another. Also more awareness through diet, exercise and other healing activities. So if this eclipse degree connects with your natal chart energies, then that means that over this subsequent few months, you can make new beginnings related to these areas. Some of you may mix more with those providing a service for you, some kind of service like health practitioners or teachers, advisors or mechanics or, plumbers, skilled people anyway, and also the other way around. So the eclipse energy will be significant over subsequent months if an important point is triggered by the eclipse degree. The third solar eclipse is in your opposite sign, Cancer. That's on July the 1st. That means that if there are strong aspects from the eclipse degree, then you'll feel it's like it's time for new beginnings related to significant relationships in your life, whether they are personal ones or professional ones. The fourth solar eclipse in Sagittarius on November the 25th means that if there are strong aspects from the eclipse degree to your natal points, it will highlight your inner life, taking more time for healing or nurturing activities, also listening more to your subconscious, your dream life for some of you. It's very good for new beginnings using the imagination, creative, artistic type work. More useful time spent in solitary contemplation, maybe meditation, yoga, that kind of thing. Beavering away also at something behind the scenes for yourself or on behalf of others, or for a good cause of some kind. And mystical and healing activities, these are all going to be favoured here. And also the two lunar eclipses, they're both happening in those same areas. Sagittarius, June the 15th, and Gemini, December the 10th. And that means, once again, if there's a connection to your natal points, then there can be fresh starts and new beginnings, improvements related to those areas there. Neptune's been making its influence felt in your area of finances and property, and the boundaries and the lines could have been blurred there between you and somebody else. What's your stuff, what's their stuff, what's your responsibility, what's their responsibility. You may have had to lay ego on one side and sort of self-centeredness on one side more than once. Over this many years that Neptune's been there, and made a resource available, practical, material, physical, a resource available to another for free or for very little, goodwill coming in there, or because it's for mutual benefit, and you using your talents and skills, to sort of contribute into the pot, into the pool there. because it serves, what you both want to do together, or some sort of bigger cause of some kind. Now, Neptune's going to sort of slide out of there between April the 5th and August the 5th into the next area, which it will be doing again from February 2012 for many, 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 many years. In that little short period next year, that means that you'll feel a pull to, actually could be having psychic experiences. Some of you, your intuition getting sharpened up, telepathic type experiences, coincidences happening. It's going to be in your communication area, so it's going to be about using your imagination in creative, self-expressive kind of ways, choosing different mediums of self-expression, different media to work through. But also you may discover that what you thought was written in stone, what was absolutely, stamped into the very sort of fabric of reality, as an absolute truth, is in fact an illusion, and maybe a mass illusion to boot. Because Neptune is a transpersonal planetary energy, you see, so there can be some momentary confusion there for a little while. But doubt and skepticism, is very healthy, and you are the skeptic of the zodiac. So balance that skepticism and even cynicism, which is healthy, with, seeing the reality of what is actually happening, and kind of blending the two, before deciding what a truth really means for you. And you early Capricorns, very early, born in the first 2 days, you're going to feel that Neptune influence most strongly in 2011. And then it will start changing from when it goes into Pisces, its home sign, from February 2012. Now, also in 2011, Mars will stay for a lengthy period in Virgo, from November the 11th to July 2012, meaning for you, this area dynamically activates your area of academic education, being very interested through reading or taking a course about a certain body of knowledge, but also more travel, learning through broadening your horizons, different cultures, getting the broader perspective on something as well, or maybe on many, many things. You'll be getting that broader perspective when Mars is in there for that long, long time, that very unusual, rare transit. And also, Capricorn, that could be you as the mentor, the trainer, the teacher, the guide, you as the traveler, as well as the student or the spiritual seeker. Well, that's it for 2011. If you know your rising sign, listen to that too. And I wish you a very, very good new year. And I will see you the next time.